former Prime Minister of Qatar won't face trial for the alleged torture of a British citizen. The London High Court awarded Sheikh Hamad bin Jاسم Al Thani state and diplomatic immunity from prosecution. The verdict follows a case brought by British Qatari dual national Fawaz Al Attiyah. عطيه claims that Al Thani ordered that his property be confiscated without adequate compensation. He also alleges that he was responsible for Al Attiyah's unlawful transfer across borders from Saudi Arabia to Qatar in October 2009. The former official spokesman for Qatar also says that Al Thani ordered his detention for 15 months, the majority of which he spent in solitary confinement, where he says he was subject to threats and psychological abuse. But despite the verdict, the man who brought the case, Fawaz Al Attiyah, told RT UK that he's confident of the decision being overturned on appeal.
I'm confident that this country has the rule of law, and it can't have the rule of two laws. So we can't have Justice Hayden on Monday say that this is enough to strip away the diplomatic immunity of a particular individual, and yet Justice Blake on within 7 days ruled the exact opposite. So I feel that once it goes to the Court of Appeals, it has a very strong chance of continuing both the stripping of diplomatic immunity and the question of state immunity.
Solicitor Mark Stevens has been outspoken in his opposition to what he calls the abuse of diplomatic immunity, and he told me earlier that it's important that Al Thani is held to account for his actions.
One of the situations here is that Mr. Attiyah was the very first person to be extraordinarily rendered from one country to another, other than by the American government. He was also tortured whilst in Qatar. I went down personally to meet not only with Qatari authorities but also the British Embassy and many others. And it does seem to me that very often people who would otherwise have to account for their actions don't do so because they have this claim to diplomatic immunity. And it seems that the British government are prepared to go through a process, and once the process is gone through, they won't actually look behind whether someone is in reality a diplomat or not.
And what about this assertion that these abuses were carried out by the state of Qatar and not this individual person?
Well, I think that in any case, the effect of things has to be taken by an individual. And in a state like Qatar, where this person was the Prime Minister, the Foreign Minister, the head of the Kuwaiti Investment Office, he was everything. And as a result of that, you know, he was all-powerful, all-influential, and it was very difficult to see how anything took place without him doing that. And the right thing to do would be to come out from the cloak of diplomatic immunity and actually account for his actions. It's a disgrace, and it was the situation when we had diplomats who were of the highest standing in society. Now we have problems where, you know, some diplomats turn up here and they have slaves, some others commit criminal offences, serious criminal offences, not parking offences, but murder, rape, those kinds of offences, and then they claim diplomatic immunity and try and avoid the accounting for their actions.